Okay, guys, we've got some incredible Nintendo Switch and RPG news to go over. We're going to be talking about a big W for the community when it comes to SEGA and ATLUS news. You guys are going to love this. We've got Square Enix, big changes over there. That's going to affect what games you guys are going to be playing for the upcoming Nintendo Switch 2, for PlayStation, Xbox, PC, all of that. Dragon's Dogma 2, big milestone for that game, and a surprising thing that's still happening with a beloved RPG from 2018 on the Nintendo Switch. But before we get into any of that, what's good everyone? OJ here, welcome back to another video. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are someone new, and click that notification bell to get my Nintendo Switch and RPG videos first. Now let's go ahead and jump right into this. Midori is officially back. This is not an April Fool's late joke or anything. Midori is back. For those who don't know, Midori is the ATLUS/SEGA leaker that has given us correct information when it comes to SEGA and ATLUS games. For example, they accurately told us about the Persona 5 Royal re-release on Xbox, Nintendo Switch. They talked about Persona 3, Persona 4. They got multiple things right with Persona 3 Reload when it comes to the release timing and when it comes to the expansion pass. And they've also given us information in the future when it comes to Metaphor ReFantazio and Persona 3 Reload and those games coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 or Nintendo's next generation machine. Now, a while back, there was a situation where some information from Midori was apparently given to this person's name that I'm not going to give them any type of clout, okay? Just not going to give them clout. But anyway, information was given then under a different alias. Then that person then turned that information that Midori gave to them and spun it onto their own thing for clout. And after that, people were talking about it and it ended up being like, hey, it tracked back. So Midori said, I'm done. That's essentially the basic gist of it. I'm pretty sure it's more complicated than that, but you have a bunch of actual good people when it comes to leakers and stuff like Pioro getting very angry at that person for doing that. But because of the power of friends, the power of SEGA, the power of the community, Midori is now saying that they will be coming back to the platform Twitter, in addition to sharing information once again. So this message was posted on April 1st, 2024 at 10:26 p.m. I am not hacked. I am back because of friends and ATLUS and SEGA fans. So I will continue sharing information. And it is incorrect information. That fake information was made to find me. So people were talking about how maybe SEGA or ATLUS or something, somebody found them out and that's the reason why they stopped. No, that is incorrect according to Midori. Now they also had another post here stating, and harassment is bad. Please be nice to everyone. I should not have mentioned their name. I was sad that people were being mean to them. So they're talking about the person that starts with a Z that I will not get into because one, I don't want any harassment on them, but yes, there was a bit, but that's because that person did something really stupid overall. Pushing that aside, this is good news for SEGA and ATLUS fans because Midori always has solid information when it comes to SEGA and ATLUS stuff. Now, recently there was an article or there was a rumor that I didn't talk about, which was the Sonic Heroes remake or re-release, remaster, whatever you want to call it, that was rumored to be a thing. Midori came out and stated, well, no, not so fast. It's not necessarily a thing right now, but it's being considered. So that's the type of stuff that you're going to get from Midori. That's the type of stuff when it comes to accurate information, or if there is something, it's not all just, okay, this is happening. They can even check with their sources and say, well, hold up. Let's kind of pump our brakes on that. It's more like this. So that's why this is exciting. That's why this is good for SEGA ATLUS fans, because there's clout chasers out there that want to sit there and say certain things, but ultimately that stuff isn't correct. So Midori can maybe sometimes come out and say, hey, this is what I know. And based off the track record, Midori's been really good. Now, I'm pretty sure there's some things that maybe they were off about or something like that. But for the most part, ever since I've been covering SEGA and ATLUS stuff over the last few years or so, they've gotten a lot of stuff right. So definitely this is good news for ATLUS and SEGA fans, and especially Nintendo fans that are looking forward to playing some of these games like Metaphor ReFantazio or even Persona 3 Reload on the next Nintendo system, because I'm sure Midori will have information on that as we get closer to whenever Nintendo's going to announce this next system. So awesome stuff there. But speaking of awesome stuff, let's discuss what's going on at Square Enix, because this company has went through a whirlwind in the past couple of years, from selling off some of their biggest Western IPs to getting a brand new CEO and president, and also rearranging what they do with their games. There's a lot of change that's happening at Square Enix right now, and this article that we're going to talk about is one of the big things that's going to shape the future of Square Enix and their games, especially what Nintendo fans, RPG players, people that love Square Enix's classic franchises will be playing. Now, Square Enix has appointed new executive officers. This includes Naoki Hamaguchi, Tomoya Asano, and more. So famous developers joined the exclusive ranks, writes Gematsu. Square Enix has appointed a number of new executive officers as of April 1st, 2024. I will put up a full list of the executives that we do have here, but you guys can see them all right here in terms of their names. We've got 5 new executive officers. So this is essentially a promotion for them. They get these promotions because they've been doing great work within the company, making the company money, having good management skills, being able to produce at an efficient level, been able to multitask. There's a variety of things on how you get promoted at a company like Square Enix. It takes a lot of hard work. They are a bit old school when it comes to the work ethic. You are expected to work long hours. You are expected, to kind of go the extra bit. You're expected to really hold up to a certain level of quality when it comes to things. Now, admittedly so, even Square Enix will tell you some of the quality hasn't necessarily been the best, but one of the things that you see that's consistent amongst the new executives and what they're trying to do here is that the people who have produced quality have gotten promoted. Now, I want to focus in on one here because you guys know I love me some HD 2D. I love me the AA type of games, and I love what they did here with Tomoya Asano. He is Team Asano. He is the guy that is responsible when it comes to the lead, the production, and the structure of what they're trying to do, along with his teams when it comes to the HD 2D games with Unreal Engine 4. So that's Octopath Traveler 1, Octopath Traveler 2, Live Alive. These type of games, he has been at the forefront of that. And over the course since 2018, they've sold millions of copies between Octopath Traveler 1, Octopath Traveler 2, and Live Alive. You're looking at around 5 million units plus between those games on AA and smaller budgets. So once again, they're doing a great job, or more like he's doing a great job managing when it comes to budgets, when it comes to team size and all of that. And he absolutely deserves this promotion. And having someone like Asano at the lead or executive role, he has more influence on what's going to be happening with games and what could potentially get greenlit. So the games that you love, like Octopath Traveler or like Live Alive, these type of projects can be greenlit more. That type of quality can be focused on and emphasized more because he's proven over the course of the last 5, 6, 7 years plus that he knows how to get the job done in that capacity and that role. So I'm very happy to hear about this. I'm guessing they need to finish up what they're doing with Dragon Quest III HD 2D, and I think that he has a role in that as well. He is definitely has his hands in there, but I think that there's more to come, right, when it comes to HD 2D. We'll see if Octopath Traveler 3, that becomes a thing. I know Bravely Default series, he's also involved heavily in Bravely Default, so if you put in together Bravely Default 2 on the Nintendo Switch, you add that in, that was also another million seller. You're looking at a guy, once again, that have sold millions of copies of games on AA and smaller budgets. So this is good news. I think he's going to do a good job in terms of his influence and what he can do at the company, and we should see better quality because of that when it comes to Square Enix. So very happy about that. And of course, some of the old school names are still there, like Kitase, for example, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and so much more. He's been at the company for a very long time. So what do you guys think about Mr. Asano's promotion here? What do you guys think about the future of Square Enix and what's happening? But speaking of sales and promotions, let's talk about the developers over at Capcom for Dragon's Dogma 2, because the sales of the game have officially topped more than 2.5 million according to Capcom. So total sales for Dragon's Dogma 2 have surpassed 2.5 million units, Capcom announced. Cumulative sales for the Dragon's Dogma series have surpassed 10 million units now with that 2.5 million. So we know that Dragon's Dogma, the original with all the re-releases and all that, sold around 7.5 million. So definitely very good over the course of all these years, but very good as it's not one of their bigger franchises, but it looks like it's turning into something here. So Capcom gave a little bit of an overview of the game if you don't know about Dragon's Dogma and why it's so popular. So Dragon's Dogma series consists of action games in a fantasy setting where players adventure in an expansive open world of swords and magic. Since the release of the first game in 2012, the series garnered praise worldwide for its gameplay features, such as its pawn adventure companions who carry out actions on their own, leading to the series to exceed 10 million units sold cumulatively. Coming 12 years after the original, Dragon's Dogma 2 is an action game set in the sprawling open world with a high degree of freedom. The game allows players to enjoy an intricately crafted, all-too-real fantasy setting while providing a taste of adventuring in a group of up to 4 players while all playing solo thanks to AI-controlled pawn characters that act as traveling companions. Capcom carried out various global facing promotional activities with the aim of attracting not only longtime fans of the series, but newcomers as well, including the launch of a free application that let users create their player avatars prior to the game's release, as well as in-game pawns made in collaboration with celebrities in various countries and Japanese national athletes. Now, updates regarding additions and changes to some specifications for Dragon's Dogma 2 are being made on the ongoing basis. Details can be found at the game's official homepage. And what they mean by that is that they are doing patches and including things to improve the game. We now have a 30 frames per second cap on there to where it's not all herky-jerky and going all over the place. It's capped at 30. Maybe there's a few dips here or there, but it feels a bit more consistent overall with the frame rate instead of going all over the place, which is something that they probably should have had at the beginning, but it's good that they had it out pretty close to launch here. Dragon's Dogma only launched back on March 22nd, so it's not that old. It's only been around for not even 2 weeks at the time that I'm recording this video, and the fact that it's already sold 2.5 million units is definitely a good thing. I can see a game like this being a long-term seller because they're going to do updates, they're going to do expansions, they're going to do other things, and this is the type of game with its type of setting and everything. It appeals to not only Japanese players a bit, but also really to the Western audience as well. Now, the $70 price tag might be a bit high for some people out there, so once you start getting some of those discounts, I think the game is also going to continuously sell just like the first Dragon's Dogma did over the course of however many years. Now, hopefully it doesn't take 12 years to get a sequel at this point, but Capcom has been working on the next iteration of the RE engine, so maybe we see an updated game when it comes to Dragon's Dogma 2, like the Dark Arisen of that, an updated expansion or game that's built in that new engine and even gets better performance going forward. So we'll have to see, but I'm pretty sure Capcom is fairly happy with these sales because I don't think Dragon's Dogma 1 launched to the game having this big of sales. So good for Capcom overall on that. But we're gonna go ahead and swing back over to Square Enix because there was a user on Twitter that pointed this out to me, and this is something that we covered before a bit on my live streams, but I wanted to cover officially on a video, and that's because Octopath Traveler on the Nintendo Switch is still unavailable digitally for the platform on the Nintendo website. If you go on the Nintendo website, I'm on it right now at this point, and it says Octopath Traveler $59.99 digital not available. This happened a couple weeks ago, and I'm thinking, hey, there's just gonna be a little bit of time before it comes back, and it's still not available digitally. And I hate to do this, but I'm going to do it because it's very important, but this is the reason why physical gaming is important. This is exactly the reason why. They can remove the game digitally and not even tell you, have no ETA on when it's coming back or any reason. It's their game, so they can just do it whenever they want. It's much harder to revoke a license or something like that in a physical copy of a game, or say that somebody can't play it without having some issues that you're probably going to run into, whereas digitally it's just like a press of a button and it happens. So that's the biggest problem that I have with the all digital future. This is the biggest problem that I have with just digital. We need a balance. Thankfully, Octopath Traveler is available physically. There are loose copies out there that you can pick up. They're not necessarily cheap, but they're not necessarily super expensive either. So this is the reason why I always say, hey guys, physical is good, because you never know when something like this is going to happen. Now, if you already bought a digital copy of the game, your digital copy is still there. You can still re-download it if you delete it off your hard drive or whatever the case is. Like, you can still go on the eShop and re-download it. But let's just say there was an all digital Nintendo Switch, right? Well, well for the all digital Nintendo Switch people. And if they want to get into Octopath Traveler because they saw Octopath Traveler 2, they just got a Switch and they want to get into the first one, well, tough luck. If there was, hypothetically speaking, if there was an all digital Switch, they wouldn't be allowed to do that because there'd be no way to play it at this point with the first Octopath Traveler. Gotta have the balance, guys. I myself, I buy a lot of physical games. Sometimes I go into digital when it comes to indie games and sales, but for the most part, I'm buying the games physical. So this is part of the reason why. So what do you guys think overall when it comes to everything that we discussed here and the RPG news? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch and RPG news videos right here on screen. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.